We got the biggest Borderlands 3 update since launch with performance improvements, bank space upgrades, new content and way more. I will tell you everything you need to know in this video, so let's get into it. It would of course be awesome if you could leave a like on the video as it shows your support, and let's go. First up, a quick reminder that I'm doing a giveaway for 20 copies of Borderlands 3 for a platform of choice, thanks to 2K for providing the keys. All you need to do is follow the link in the pinned comment for a chance to win. PS4 codes are only for the US, while the Xbox and PC codes are for all regions. And you likely already own the game, but you could of course give it to a friend. And recruit them for the takedown, it's needed. So good luck, and would of course be nice if you are a subscriber of the channel before you enter the giveaway. Let's start with one of my favorite new additions of this update, the bank space upgrades. So what you will immediately notice is that you now have 100 bank space upgrades instead of the 50 we had before the update if you fully upgraded your bank at Marcus. Well, now the maximum is 300. But yeah, you need to buy these upgrades again, and they are quite expensive. Like from 100 to 120 is $3 million, then 4 million for 20 more slots. It seems to go up by 1.5 million per upgrade, and what they changed is that every time you now upgrade, you get 20 extra slots instead of the 10 that we had before. So really a great change, makes money more valuable as well. I don't mind it at all that we have to buy these upgrades, it's something to work towards again, and we can finally save more of our favorite guns. And there were actually quite a lot of new weapons added with this new update, and some are exclusive to the new Mayhem 4 mode that you can of course activate after you finished the main story of the game by going to Sanctuary, and they actually changed how the Mayhem station works. You can now namely decrease or increase the level by interacting with the table, and that way you get to the Mayhem 4. And thanks to the information terminal, you can already notice a significant difference compared to the other 3 Mayhem modes. So in Mayhem 4 you namely do not have any debuffs, but only one buff for you. So extra damage with one specific weapon category, shotgun, SMG, assault rifle, or extra damage with one specific element. And enemies also gain one buff for their weapon damage, fire rate, the very annoying 2 additional projectiles per shot is still there, and overall the enemies also have way more health compared to the other Mayhem modes. And good to note is that Mayhem 1, 2 and 3 were not changed with this update. But yeah, obviously Mayhem 4 is way more challenging. We really have to be careful for Tron's mechanics again and dodge them, and just be more focused overall to take him out. It is still possible though solo, depending on your build and gear, and when you succeed, you will also see more legendaries than with the other Mayhem modes. Because the loot drop chance has actually been increased for all the enemies on Mayhem 4 compared to Mayhem 3. And you can also find new anoints on legendaries, like we see here on the Baby Maker Plus Plus from Captain Tron, that has the While Airborne anoint, increasing the fire rate by 20%. There is now also an anoint for on slide, so giving you a buff when you slide. So of course cool new additions, but this also means that it will be harder to find the anointed loot that we actually want, because I still feel that the on action skill end is better than While Airborne or on slide. Although it might be fun to toy around with a build that focuses on slide for sure. There are also completely new legendaries that you can only get in Mayhem Mode 4. Dunkley on Reddit found the good Juju assault rifle from Graveward that looks pretty awesome and has a 14.17 fire rate, which of course insane. And this weapon is very likely a nod to the bad Juju from Destiny. We got Tankman's shield, an Hyperion sniper that likely has a big shield looking at the name. And we got a very cool new incendiary SMG, Kype's Worth, that deals quite a lot of damage, and fallen enemies spawn a healing aura once every 10 seconds. Now the red text makes sense. NRV posted this weapon on Reddit and also posted footage of the weapon on the target dummy, and it looks very insane. I can't wait to get this one myself. And that's by the way also new, a target dummy in the shooting range from Marcus. We can shoot Handsome Jack again, and he has a crit spot on the head. And this is just to see the damage of the weapon that you are using. Only homing grenades do not seem to work, sadly, but overall it's a pretty cool new addition. Going back to that insane new SMG, because that's actually a drop from the final boss of the first takedown on Mayhem 4. So we're not sure right now if it is like a Mayhem 4 only drop or a drop that you just can get from the final boss no matter what Mayhem mode you play the game on. So yes, let's talk about this end game activity, the takedown, that you start on Sanctuary over here on the map, and then you get a call from Lorelei who tells you about the new location that you can access via the destination terminal. It's on the planet Midnight Cairn, and just leave from the drop pod once you get there to access the location. And man, it's awesome. I love the countdown timer when you pull the lever and then you can go. You see the footage here of this encounter on Mayhem 1, because yes, it's tough, and the thing actually is that this endgame activity is always scaled to 4 players, so that's why the enemies have a ton of health. So you can try and do it alone, but it's way smarter and faster to assemble a team or use the matchmake function to search for other players to do this encounter with. Good to note is that there's a checkpoint in this takedown after killing a boss. So, while if you die at the first boss, you will be teleported back to the beginning, after taking out these 3 robots, you actually get the checkpoint. So if you then die, you don't have to go back all the way to the start. Good luck, it's very awesome content. The bosses are not that mechanic heavy compared to Destiny or the Division raids, but they do pose an awesome challenge, and they do require some communication with your team to take out. I really can't wait to farm this activity, share the new drops and tips and tricks here on the channel really soon. And speaking of a new drop, oh geez, will I curse, on Reddit found the Tix Boom Torque shotgun that shoots 9 rounds at the same time, and this was also a drop from the final boss. Again, I will showcase more weapons when we finally got them and actually showcase them in action, tell you if they are good, etc, etc. Speaking of weapons and loot drops, another important change are the dedicated loot drops. So now we can go to bosses in the main game, for example, like Trant on Athenas or Gigamind, Mouthpiece, and get specific drops from that encounter. Gearbox did not release a full list though, so it's really up to us to find what bosses have a higher chance to drop which item. And the thing is that the bosses still have world drops too, so it can be hard to find out what boss drops what item unless you farm the encounter multiple times. Maybe you already think that you found some of the specific drops from some of the bosses, then totally let me know in the comments down below. I'm really curious. I will do a video with the drops per boss and the ones that you want to chase once we kind of find out where to get all of them. Again, if you want to help, drop what you found in the comments down below, or reach out to me on Twitter or Instagram, both JorRaptor. You can also email me at input@jorraptor.com. That's the email address. If you are on PS4 and willing to lend me some of the new items that you found, then you can reach out to me too. I will immediately send the items back after recording some footage and shout, of course, you out in the next video. Another improvement with this update is for the performance. Like, the menus are a little more snappier now, still a little bit laggy, like it is not fixed like completely, but it is way better than before the update. We can now also mark our items again in our inventory on PS4, something that was broken with a recent hotfix from a few weeks ago. And there are now more vending machines in multiple regions, like Athena's, but also in the Atlas HQ, Lectra City, Jacob's Estate, Ferocious Canopy, and more, as you see right here from the patch notes. We got some balance changes as well for the different classes, like the Iron Bear from Moose should now deal more damage, just like the health has been increased. The pet from Flak now also deals more damage across the different skills, and Zane now has a lot of buffs across the board. I wanted to focus this video on the new content and the features and highlight that, but I will leave a link to the character changes in the video description, or just the full patch notes in general, so you can totally read them for yourself if you want. I really can't wait to hop back into the game, go knees deep into the new content. This is really one of the biggest updates I've ever seen with free content for a game that I covered here on the channel. Maybe even the biggest, now that I think about it. Way more coverage is coming your way. I really can't wait to bring it to you. So totally subscribe for everything Borderlands 3. Don't forget the giveaway in the pinned comments. Like this video to support the channel and check out my previous video on the new first paid DLC that looks great and is coming on December 19th. I got a ton of gameplay and info in that video that you can watch by clicking on the screen. For now, we will speak to you next time, and goodbye.